Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, we're taking the new verse Yamato into some Pirate Rumble, into some PvP with the Mono DEX team, and showcasing what she can do for that particular team and how she sort of operates, and having a chat about her Rumble abilities. So, with the release of Verse Card on Yamato, comes this particular Yamato for the DEX team, and she's very, very good at absolutely decimating quick. Have you guys been using this girl in Rumble? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know how badly you are absolutely decimating the quick team, because she does so much work against them. And if you partner up with something like Kizaru, Cat Viper, Dogstorm, you can do some really, really cool things. And while you're down in the comment section, don't forget to belt the like button for me if you're new to the channel. Hit that big red subscribe button as well. So as you guys can see, we are kicking it off in a quick matchup. Obviously, we're pretty stacked compared to this particular team. This team is a little bit outdated, but I was sort of struggling to actually just find teams to verse. So I actually picked up the PvP challenge for the end of this particular video. So with Yamato, her Rumble ability at level 5 gives Dex allies attack up level 6, defense up level 5, and then she reduces quick enemies cooldown by level 3 and defense down level 5. So really, really good nerfer of the quick team. And obviously with quick driven at the moment, running around, being so predominant in the meta, she's very, very good at helping you take that particular team down. She's going to be very, very good for GP as well, because you can now scatter like her, Kizaru, Moria, CatDog across a bunch of different teams. And where you see those sort of quick units sort of littered in with like driven, or whether it's a quick team, you can actually do some bits there. And if the quick team gets better and stronger, or the cerebral quick team starts to pick up, then you can do some really, really cool stuff with this particular Yamato. Her special, on a 34-second cooldown, it's actually quite high, but look, on 34 seconds, she is going to target team for attack up and speed up level 7 for 10 seconds, targets enemies in a large range for 2.55 times damage, and then targets quick enemies for 2.5 times damage and 70% paralysis for 7 seconds. While she does do a bunch of damage no matter who you're versing, if you are versing quick, she's going to output a lot more damage. She basically does like a 2.55 times damage, and then she does an extra 2.5 times damage as her second hit, and then she paralyzes for 7 seconds. Now, it's only a 70% chance to paralyze, and I found that paralysis really isn't that great of an ability in Rumble. It can be quite helpful, but it only nerfs regular attacks, and when that actually happens, like, it's not super viable. However, if it affected something like specials, it would be absolutely broken, kind of like what the stun mechanic can do. So I do understand why it's just regular attacks, but nevertheless, it doesn't matter too much, especially when you are versing quick enemies with the Dex team. They're not doing too much damage anyway, so the 70% chance to paralyze is kind of whatever. I kind of wish it was something else, maybe some extra stats, maybe some defense or something like that, but she is basically all-out attack. Her passive gives attack, she does give defense, which is nice, but then she obviously nerfs quick, so you do more damage, reducing their defense, and then you just do that double shot of crazy amounts of damage, as well as buffing your own attack and your speed for 10 seconds. It's a big buff at level 7, but it is only for 10 seconds, so it's kind of hit or miss there with what she actually does. And honestly, when I sort of read her on paper, I was kind of more excited to see what she does there than when I actually started using her. Now, Dex is kind of in a weird sort of spot now, because like int driven has become so freaking powerful that honestly, I think it might have actually overtaken Dex just on the lowski as the best Rumble team in the game. I actually tried to take on a Kaido variation with this particular team. I think I was using, I might have been using Kizaru, I might have been using Cat Viper, and I actually lost. I got timed out, but like I wasn't gonna win it anyway. So besides maybe something like that, this particular team shouldn't have too many issues versing any team anyway. But if you do find quick teams, obviously you can, like I said, you can litter in something like Kizaru, you've got Moria, you've got, now you've got Yamato, you've got Neko and Inu that can just absolutely decimate quick. Like, quick does not stand a chance even a little bit against the Dex team at all. Not that it really did too much, but like I said, that quick driven team with something like, Shiki, Tesoro, with Fujitora, then you can sprinkle in like Moria and Top Musica, was really, really scary, and was actually starting to get a real big resurgence and a real big rise and do some really, really crazy things in Rumble. But now with Yamato, and if you just do like a full team of like complete quick nerfing, you're not going to have any issues. Besides that, quick doesn't really pop up in many other places. The cerebral quick meta hasn't really taken off, and whilst they have been releasing a lot of quick Cerebral Legends that can work on that particular team, they haven't really found the Pirate Rumble rare recruits, or haven't really found that, like, final piece of the puzzle to make them very, very good. And like I said, Quick sort of just doesn't pop up in your everyday team. Like, obviously, PvP is so catered towards the color meta that class teams aren't really a super big thing. But obviously, lately we've been seeing the resurgence of stuff like the fighter team, the powerhouse team has been making a bit of a rise. Slashers have always been a thing since Roger and Odin, and the Cerebral team has been in the equation as well. Shooters, they are a thing, and they do have a lot of quick units as well. So if you see shooter teams, they're not exactly challenging for the most part anyway. But now with Yamato in the team, you're not going to have any issues taking them down. But like I said, you never really had those. You never really had those issues in the first place anyway. Nevertheless, Yamato is very, very powerful. She's very, very good. And with the array of selection that DEX has, she's amongst some very, very good units. I don't know if she really makes the cut for like the best DEX team though. But like I said, with GP now being such a prevalent thing, having so many options is very, very handy, and it's very, very valuable for when you guys are taking on that particular game mode. Talking about GP, she is a Pirate Festival GP leader, which means you can actually use her for GP stats. Being a Super Sugafest exclusive, she does have a GP ability as well as a GP burst. So her GP ability boosts int allies by attack and speed up level 4, defense up level 2. And then she does Dex, allies receive HP up, crit up, guard up level 6. So she's very similar to what Kaido does, but she's basically the opposite. She does all of the defensive stuff for Dex, and then she does all of the sort of attack stuff for int. Then she boosts Free Spirit allies received attack up level 4 and HP up level 4, as well as level 2 speed up. Now, this last part's actually really, really good because Free Spirit is another very good class team that has been floating around. And with Yamato as your GP leader, you can easily put together a very good int team, a very good Dex team. And if you really wanted to, Dex has got so many units, you could probably put together another Dex team on top of that. You can do some really crazy defensive things. And remember, in GP, if you have more units than the enemy, you actually get the win. And with stuff like Luffy and Brook, you have some crazy Free Spirit options. You can even just build out a Free Spirit team and then just try your luck for the win with the RNG of something like Yamato or Straw Hat Crew Pirates V2 and do some really, really cool things there. So GP ability is very, very strong. I do like Kaido's a little bit more. I think he just has a little bit more synergy with the int-driven variation, and Dex have actually a lot of very good driven characters as well, like Kid and Dofi, Queen, Moria. There's a bunch of different options there, and you can sort of build out some nice teams. But as I was saying, the beautiful thing about having Verse Kaido Yamato is you have both of them, and you can use both of them across the board, across your 3 GP teams. She does have a GP burst as well. When you defeat 10 enemies, you can activate this twice. She targets 3 enemies with high defense for 4,500 damage, and then targets quick enemies for a 100% chance to halve stats for 20 seconds. Now, this ability is ridiculous. Halving stats, as you guys know, and as you've seen with Roger, is so freaking powerful that it basically can just swing the whole fight and just absolutely put you in the hot seat to win very easily. Obviously, the downside here is it's only for quick enemies, and quick enemies aren't really littered in with across the border with a bunch of teams. However, they do pop up in stuff like the quick driven team, or they do pop up in terms of like your quick cerebral teams. So if you are doing GP and you come to sort of the back end of the 15 fights and you sort of have a fight that you don't know, you might be using your int team against a hidden fight. You don't know it has some quick units. This can actually be very, very handy. However, when you are versing quick teams and using your Dex teams, you're not going to need this too much because 99% of the time, in my experience, like your Dex team is just going to absolutely clap the quick team anyway. However, the 4,500 fixed damage to high defense enemies is so freaking valuable. As we've seen with units like Kanjuro, Tesoro, even something like Kuzan and their level number 8 pluses, fixed damage in Pirate Rumble has become so powerful, especially when you give them such big numbers like 3,000, 3,500, even up to 4,000. Unless the enemy has the inbuilt reduction from that particular color, you are going to do so much so much damage through defense. And remember, Yamato is targeting enemies that have high defense, which means that the units that are going to be harder to take down Usually they're the units that are giving defense to the opposition squad, and if you remove them, it actually removes that said defensive stat, which can help you out and can swing the match very, very nicely. And all you got to do is take out 10 enemies. So that means basically like you either fight an 8-man team and then you take out two units in the next fight. You want to quickly pop that straight away. So that's a bit of a downside to her GP as well, is the fact you do need to take out 10 enemies, because you can use this twice. Yet if you've only verse like 3 5-man teams, you're never going to see it the second time, right? Because you're just never going to take out 20 enemies. So you really want to try and find those 8-man teams where you can at least get that second burst by the final fight. But that's going to wrap up the video. Let me know your thoughts and opinions of Yamato in the comment section below, and while you're down there, don't forget to belt the like button for me. If you're new to the channel, you haven't done so already, hit that big red subscribe button. Most importantly though, wherever you guys are in this beautiful world, please remember to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, homies, I thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one.